I'm proud of our guys. It was a heck of a win. Obviously, Carolina is extremely talented. As good of a downhill transition attacking team as there is in America, maybe the best. We really had to be on transition defense and block out. Those are two things that we really harped on. And I thought our guys were really good in that regard. It was probably our best defensive effort of the year. Terrence Edwards, who's been phenomenal for us, scoring the ball. I didn't even know that he was 2 for 12 from the field and only had 7 points because his defensive performance, his defensive effort was outstanding. He wasn't the only guy that guarded number 4, but he guarded him the majority of the time, and he's a terrific player, as we all know. Very decorated, All-American, and I thought Pat did a phenomenal job on him. Obviously, Chucky was amazing. 27, 7, and 2 is an elite performance. James Scott was great toward the end of the game, closing the game with a block, big rebound, and a dunk. Chucky and Noah were a little banged up the last couple of days. Katie Kresnick, who's our sports medicine trainer, doesn't get enough credit, but she is phenomenal. She came with us from Charleston, and the job that she did the last couple of days around the clock, getting those guys ready to play, was huge. So great atmosphere. Crowd was amazing. When Rain hit that shot, it was that Yum roar that I've talked about so much since I got here. It was a major impact on the game. So I thank everybody for coming out and the job that they did being a true factor in the game.
We have questions. Gary, do you want the first one?
Sure, why not?
All right.
In the Helen Thomas treatment. Coach, obviously the turning point, you get 2, you're up by 1, you get 2 defensive turnovers, and finally you get Chucky at the line, and then you mentioned Scott with the dunk, and then the monster block on the other end. I mean, when you're in a situation like that, what do you kind of tell them to just kind of keep their heads in the game and stay focused on that, and with Chucky being disruptive down the stretch?
Yeah, closing out games, we call the last 8 minutes of the game winning time. And, shortly before that, I think at the 11, 12-minute mark, a lot of things were going wrong. We missed 2 front ends in the bonus. We missed a layup, a wide open 3 that didn't go in. Just the energy kind of came out of the building a little bit. The guys walked toward the huddle with their gobbers down a little bit, but they responded. They rallied, and I thought they were terrific down the stretch. You mentioned, to beat a really good team, you have to close out the game with stops and rebounds, and that's what we were able to do. The guys just dug in, terrific defensive possessions toward the end, even at that, when it was still, the game was still, in the balance. They ran a couple sets down, and our guys were like suffocating on defense. So it's a really good team. It's a phenomenal coach. They're there to prepare for. They're as talented as anybody in the country. We're fortunate to get a win, and I'm proud of our guys.
Davis missed his first 4 shots, didn't have a field goal for the first 15 minutes. Did you decide to go with Edwards because of his length or just his overall defensive ability?
Yeah, that's a good point. One thing that we wanted to do is try to have a guy with a little bit more size and length on him. And Terrence really accepted that challenge. He was excited about it. Coach Kloman, who's our defensive coordinator, does an outstanding job. My staff doesn't get enough credit either. I'm always the one up here after a big win, and everybody's asking me questions. Those guys are terrific. And Mike Cassidy called that set down the stretch when Rain came off that baseline exit screen. It was an unbelievable call. But Brian Kloman, the defensive coordinator, called me last night. He goes, "Man, Pat's called me several times, and he's texted me, studying the scouting report, studying video, and little nuances that he's seeing." So that dude was locked in, and he had an amazing performance.
Coach, we don't normally talk about recruiting in a postgame, but you did get an announced commitment during the game to Mikael Brown. What went into the decision to do this today, and then what was the recruitment like with Mikael?
Man, what a cool thing. that was unbelievable. And then the reception, the roar, the crowd, the way they responded when he made his announcement. I had goosebumps. My heart was beating fast. It was really, really cool. When I'm in the timeout, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to act like I'm really locked in the timeout. I'm kind of peeking up at the video and stuff like that. It was really cool. Michael's family is amazing. His mom and dad, his little sister and his brother, just amazing people. He's a high character young man. Obviously, he's uber talented. And we're really, really fortunate and lucky and excited to have him in the Louisville basketball uniform.
You mentioned the shot by Rain and being a play call, which I thought it was, and wondered how that materialized, maybe in the huddle or wherever you called it. And Chucky kind of slowed it down, had the ball in his hands a little bit. It was like a shot a little bit during that point. What was
Big
it
shot.
decided?
Yeah, that's why I give Mike a lot of credit for that call, because we kind of ham and egg it a little bit on the sideline in terms of calling sets and ATOs and things like that. We were running a certain action where we were kind of we were running a middle pick and roll with like back screens with our shooter with Rain Smith in the middle, and then we ran a similar action that looks very similar, but instead of him stepping up instead of a back screen, he ran off of a baseline deck, like a baseline screen, and it was just kind of like a good little change of pace. They weren't kind of ready for it, and Rain, found a little ray of light. Chucky found him. It was a big shot.
Coach, you kind of hinted on it in your opening statement. It's not that sequence, but how crucial that was.
Was James in here before? Was
No.
James the one in here?
No, he went to radio to talk to Paul.
Does he come in here?
No.
Who came in here?
Chucky and.
Okay, I was just gonna say,
Atlas.
because James he's a treat, man. Like he would rather get 6 root canals than come up here and stand in front of this microphone. We gotta work on that. If you want him to
We're
come
gonna-
in here, he's
we're
gonna come in here.
We're gonna work on it.
But just you guys probably know, James came with us from Charleston. I say it all the time, he's so much fun to coach. One of my favorite players ever coached, just because he's just so bought in. He's a voracious film watcher. He's just an unbelievable student of the game with a really, really high IQ. He plays hard as crap. He had 7 offensive rebounds the other day. He had 8 rebounds today. And then just was a closer today on the defensive end. That block was sick, big rebound, big stick back dunk. He was really good. Then, I want to make sure I mention like Kanai too. Two of the young guys on our team. Kanai made a big 3, brought a bunch of energy, gave us some great defensive stops. And I'm gonna tell you, he was so vocal on the sideline and in the huddles. Like when I would come in the huddles, the veteran guys are always talking. He's in the back barking and encouraging guys. He was really big from a leadership standpoint today too.
Yeah, you had 4 guys finish with 4 fouls. Can you speak to just how big it is for them to finish the game and not foul out while they're still playing tight defense?
Yeah.
In a game that was really close.
It's just so Javon had 4 fouls. I trust Javon with my life, my children. He's Rain Smith, same thing. Like I forget who else had 4. Who else had 4?
Kanai and Chucky.
Kanai had 4 and Chucky. Kanai's a freshman, so maybe a little bit more like that. But those guys, they know. They know how to continue to defend, but do it the way without fouling. Try to play a little bit of offense, defense, where we're pulling guys out just to try to foul them. But I trust those guys. They do a great job in those situations.
I know during the season you're uber focused on the next game and the next thing, but big picture wise, you talked about the revival in the preseason. How big is today a step towards getting a commitment and pulling off a victory?
Yeah, gosh, I try. I try to stay so locked in on the here and now and the present. But can't help but get above the trees for a second, and it makes you smile a little bit. And, you feel it coming. Beating Carolina on your home floor, the atmosphere we had today, the energy in the gym, Michael's announcement, it was great. You're exactly right. But man, I'm not effective as a professional, as a head coach if I dwell on those things too much. So we'll enjoy it for about the next 15, 20 minutes, and we'll turn the page, move to the next thing. But it was a really cool night. I love that revival. every once in a while, I'm in the middle of the season. The other day, I didn't even know it was New Year's Eve. We got to the press conference, and somebody asked me, I forget who it was, "You're gonna watch the ball drop tonight?" And I was like, "Oh crap, that's tonight." You know, so just really, really locked in what we're doing. But every once in a while, when I'm driving home, I'll put in, you know, Zach Bryan, and I'll put the Revival song on. You know, gets me going. As you guys know, it's not hard to get me excited, get me fired up. I do listen to that periodically.
And since you don't look ahead, I'm gonna kind of try and parse this. If the tournament started tomorrow, how many check marks would you say this team has in terms of being what you feel like is a tournament?
We were really good tonight. We were really good. They're always unbelievable in preparation. There's never a day where these guys aren't locked in, ever. And, you know, we didn't play well the other night. That was a credit to EKU. We had a long film session. We really locked in on the second half possessions. You know, there was a collective buy-in leaning forward to, like, we gotta change things defensively. There's too many mishaps, too many mistakes. And I really didn't have to do a lot of the talking. They saw it in the film session. We just went to a whole other level. So where we are in the today and the now in this game was as good of a defensive performance as we've had all year long. I can't do it. I can't. I think we're a really, really good team. Let's just say that.
Coach, if you could just kind of talk about, especially early, the interior passing, half-court execution was excellent. You know, so even though we weren't necessarily knocking down a bunch of long shots, didn't slow down your offense. Can you just talk about the passing and the game plan?
Yeah, I thought our guards did a really good job attacking off pick and rolls early on, kind of getting into the guts of the defense, keeping their poise, probing, allowed James to get loose a couple times on rolls for dunks. When they helped on the roll, we made the right read, kicked it out, got really good open looks. Our guys just played really sound. You know, the other day we had 7 assists, 12 turnovers, I think, against EKU. Didn't play clean. I thought we played really clean tonight.
Gary.
The three-point shooting wasn't anything to brag about, but I guess you come off of missing 6 in a row, make 2 of the final 3. How do you talk to a guy like Rain or Chucky or whatever to just say, you know, keep shooting and keep them encouraged?
100%. If we're generating what we call big advantage shots, right, in range, in rhythm, I sleep like a baby. I stand over there and I'm not going to get angst. And man, why didn't it go? No, we're hunting great all the time. That's what we say, hunt great, hunt great. Great shots are into the free throw line, you know, clean shots at the rim, and generating rhythm threes. So if we're hunting great, we're generating great. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But you know, we just pour confidence into those guys.
Coach, going back to the Revival and where we were 1 year ago, it's no secret where this program came from. 8 wins a year ago. You already have your 9th. You look forward to a full year here now. Kind of talk about where that value is for you to be at this point already and to see the reaction of the fans and the way that they've kind of welcomed you here. And is this emotional for you that you've been able to get to this point on New Year's Day already and kind of get that impact?
It's just like the question about looking forward to the NCAA. We don't look back in the past either. You know, this edition of the Louisville Cardinals is a fun team to watch, and I think talk to the fan base, and I think they would say that. We're so proud to represent the city. You know, I call Louisville home now. This is where our roots are planted, and it's a special place. And Louisville athletics is very, very important. Obviously, you know, we give a big shout out to football for their huge win. Coach Brown came out, and I couldn't help it. I just ran out and gave a big hug during the timeout when they came out and got honored. But we're trying to do our part. You know, Louisville basketball obviously is a storied program. We got the job 9 months ago. You know, our charge was to climb and build and put this program back, you know, at the top of college basketball. And we said the way we're going to do it is to be great in the present moment, and stay locked in on the process, and that's what we continue to do. And I love the trajectory of our team and where the program's going. Obviously, like Jody said, a couple great things happened tonight. In Carolina here, Michael makes his announcement. You know, sounds like the revival to me. Let's keep it going.
Jody?
Speaking of his announcement, how difficult, he talked about wanting to do it tonight and wanted to do it here in front of the fans, he's gonna play here. How difficult for you was it not to scream to everybody that you had him a month and a half, 2 months
Yeah.
ago when you did, and
I'm
kind of talk about your staff?
I'm a pretty good secret keeper. Like my wife gets so mad. Like I'm not. Like, why don't you tell me that stuff? I don't know. I mean, I wanted him to do it. You know, yes, it's been hard. I mean, I know he had committed and all that stuff, but until it's out there, you know, I couldn't wait. So it was a big moment. It's a big moment for him, and for the family, and for our athletic department, for our university, and for our basketball program. And
What about your staff and the recruitment?
yeah, I mean, I told you before, we get the win, everybody wants to talk to me. Hours and hours and hours and hours, blood, sweat, and tears goes into recruiting. You know, it is, what do they say? It's like breathing, you do it every day, you die, or it's like shaving, you do it every day, you look like a bum. I guess I gotta watch what I say. Shave every day, but yeah, our staff just works their butt off. They're diligent, they're organized, meticulous, networked, and building relationships, selling our program. So, you know, huge shout out to our staff for that huge accomplishment of get Mike Helmet in a really
Yeah, after one of the games in the Bahamas, you mentioned, you know, wanting to make this team a point guard. When you bring in a kid, unlike Mikel, you know, could you just speak to just how crucial it is to kind of have like a foundational piece in that class? You know, unlike he is at point guard, kind of Vince brings.
I like the sound of that, point guard you. Chucky's set a pretty good tone. I mean, there's been some great ones. One on my staff, we could go all the way down the list, and I don't want to start mentioning it because I'll miss some people. But this year's PG, you know, was pretty good. He was amazing tonight, and you know, I've been blessed to coach some of the best point guards in the world. Ish Smith, love him like a son. Jeff T, Chris Paul. You know, you could keep on that. Chandler Vaudry, who's like a son to me still. Little Keon Johnson. I mean, gosh, now I'm gonna miss somebody, and I'm gonna be really, really mad. But I've coached some great ones, and I think Mikel is special. He's a special talent, and he's a championship point guard, just like Chucky Edward is. So I think that was probably a big part of Mikel's decision. We'd have to ask him that, but I'm a point guard. I missed 1,000 points by 867. Point guard in our system. I think our system is, you know, it's a fun system to play in, and Chucky has absolutely thrived, and I'm sure Mikel sees that same thing.
Last one.
Yeah. Pat, obviously there's, as Gary noted, a lot of talk about the three-pointers, but in looking at the stats, you out-rebound them 43-37. You get 10 offensive rebounds that lead to an 11-2 second choice or second chance advantage. How important is it that you not just get up a good quality shot, but you're able to get that offensive rebound off of those to get that second chance opportunity?
Yeah, we're an offensive rebounding team, and I think that is a stat, and that's a thing in basketball that's based on toughness and grit. I say it all the time. But, you know, you have to be careful against Carolina because, man, you go to the glass and you don't get it. You got guys behind the ball, and, man, it is a absolute downhill avalanche in transition. So, you know, it's what we do. We're not going to change what we do. But we had to give relentless effort going to the glass to get those second shots because those are killers, man. Those are demoralizing for a team when they guard, get us to miss, and then we get one back. But then we had to get back and guard in transition. Very good rebounding team, we are, and so is Carolina, but on both ends of the floor, that's been a strength of ours this year.
All right, thank you.